Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Miss Debbie, and today our Bible story is from the book of Jonah. Jonah is in the Old Testament, and it is spelled Jonah. If you have parents or grandparents helping you today, our lesson is going to be taken from the first 3 chapters of the book of Jonah. Jonah was a prophet or a spokesman for God. That means he went about teaching for God. One day, God told Jonah he wanted him to go to the city of Nineveh. Can you say that word with me? Nineveh. Nineveh was a city where the people were doing evil things. And God told him to go there and teach them to stop doing the evil things they were doing. But Jonah tried to run away from God. He went to Joppa, found a ship going to Tarshish, paid his money, and got on the ship. Now Jonah was trying to run away from God. Boys and girls, can we run away from God? No. Can we hide from God when we do something wrong? If we do something wrong from with our parents or grandparents or someone else, can we hide? No. But Jonah tried to hide on a ship. God sent a great storm to that ship. The wind was strong. The boat was almost ready to split in two. The men began throwing cargo or part of the baggage off the ship so that it would lighten the ship. But that didn't work. The sailors were very afraid. Jonah had gone down into the bottom of the ship, and you know what he did? He went to sleep. The captain of the ship found him in the bottom of the ship and said, "Wake up! Why are you sleeping? Pray to your God. Maybe he will hear your prayer and save us." Jonah told the men it was his fault the terrible storm was happening. He told them that he worshiped the God of heaven who made the heaven and the earth. But he had run away from God. The men became very afraid, much more afraid when they learned this. The winds and the waves of the sea became stronger and stronger, and the men asked Jonah, "What shall we do?" Jonah said, "Throw me overboard, and then the sea will become calm." The men didn't want to do that, so they tried to row back to the shore, but that didn't help. So finally, the men threw Jonah overboard. The storm stopped, and the sea became calm. The men began to respect God, and they worshiped him. Jonah went down, down, down into the dark, dark sea. He expected to die into the waters, but God sent a special fish that swallowed Jonah. He went down into the fish's stomach for 3 days and 3 nights. Boys and girls, what do you think Jonah did in the stomach of that big fish for 3 days and 3 nights? Yes, you are right. Jonah prayed to God. He was sorry that he had disobeyed God and tried to run away. He repented. That means he was sorry and he asked God to forgive him. God heard Jonah's prayer. He spoke to the fish, and God had the fish spit out Jonah on the land, out of his stomach onto dry land. Then Jonah obeyed God and went to Nineveh and preached to the people. And many of the people believed in God and returned and turned from their bad ways. Jonah did what God wanted him to do. Finally, he preached to the people and had them turn from their bad ways. Wasn't that a good story? We can learn a lot from Jonah.
Activity time!
All right, boys and girls, for our activity today, it's a very simple activity, and you will need just any kind of construction paper or paper that you have at home. You'll need a pencil, any kind of marker, a hole punch, scissors. You better ask for supervision for scissors, and any kind of twine or yarn that you can find. And what you're going to do is that we're talking about prayer. When you pray, you usually have your hands, especially younger ones, folded like this. This is to show reverence to God, to keep your hands folded like this. So when you put your hands down like this, we don't spread our fingers out, we put our hands down like this. So one at a time, draw around the outline of your hands or your palms, the outline of your hand, and then do the other one. Then when you have these drawn, take the marker and draw around the finished pencil drawn hand. Then you'll cut out your palms, your outline of your hands, and then put a hole punch at the end and string through your twine or your yarn, and then you'll have your outline of your hands in prayer form. Now this is to remind you to pray to God every day or multiple times during the day. In the morning, at lunchtime maybe, or at supper time, or before you close your eyes at night. We thank God for blessing us with everything that we have. We ask Him to take care of those that are sick, and we ask Him to forgive us when we do something wrong. We are so thankful for living in the country that we live in. Maybe you want to make some extra one of these and hang them in different parts of your house to remind you to pray. Maybe you want to make one to write a letter with and send it to a friend, or send it to a grandparent that you haven't seen in a long time and say, I love you, I'm thinking of you, and I want to pray for you. And remember, when you say, I want to pray for you, that's making a promise. So remember to pray for that person. Thank you, boys and girls. And remember, we studied about Jonah. And remember to obey and to pray.
kids!